This is not just for classical musicians. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the new French cut synthetic saxophone reeds from Legere Reeds. Hi, I'm Donna from Donna Schwartz Music. Check out my over 500 videos on tips for playing saxophone, trumpet, and improvisation, as well as the many product reviews that have helped so many people just like you. Now in this video, this is another product review. By the way, I only review products that I like and use, or ones where I know it's going to help my listeners and subscribers make more informed choices about products that can help bring their playing to that next level. Now I've got to admit, when I first saw that Legere Reeds put out the new French cut, I wasn't interested. They were promoting this reed for people who play classical music and for those wanting a darker sound, which is not what I want. And it just didn't fit, so I didn't check it out. But at the recent NAMM show, I was talking with Chris from Legere Reeds. Now, Chris has been on my Everything Saxophone podcast in the past, and our latest episode from the NAMM show 2024, we talked about the French cut, and I'm going to put a link in the description below. In fact, Chris was saying that Jason Whitmore, who's also been on my Everything Saxophone podcast a few times, he was using these reeds and loving them. Now, that shocked me. Seriously, Jason's been using the American cut and was one of the main people testing out that model. But the thing is, his setup's bright. He's a Theo Wane artist using the Durga mouthpieces, which aren't the absolute brightest. And he's also a Cannonball saxophones artist as well, just to let you know. Now, when Jason was testing out the French cut, he initially had the same thought that I did. It's not going to fit, it's not going to work. But then he grew to love this cut because it complemented his bright setup. And by the way, I'm going to put links for Jason, Legere Reeds, Theo Wane mouthpieces, and Cannonball saxophones in the show notes and the description for this video. All right, now here's the thing. Legere did market this reed for classical players at first, not jazz players. I remember seeing all those ads in the music industry magazines when this French cut first came out, and they were appealing to classical saxophonists. But jazz musicians like Jason and also Jody Espina from Jody Jazz are digging this reed. Now, what are the characteristics of the French cut? It's more resistant. It's less responsive. Now, what does that mean? It means that you're going to have more control over your sound. Sometimes when a reed or a mouthpiece is too free-blowing, it's really hard to control. But every person's different, so you have to find which level of resistance works best for you. Now, classical musicians on the whole want more resistance. They need to have the utmost control over their tone, over their sound. Rock, pop, blues musicians may want something more free or blowing, something with less resistance so that their tone can be more brighter or edgy. The French cut is not edgy at all. It has a darker sound quality. In terms of sound characteristics, the French cut's refined, it's a symphonic sound, it's dark, it's resistant, it's less responsive compared to the American cut, and because of that, the French cut's easier to control. The signature cut is in the middle of the road in terms of brightness and stuff like that. So the American cut is much more freer blowing, and it's got a bit more edge. All right, let's take a listen to all three cuts. I'm going to use the 10M Fan Chameleon 7-star tenor sax mouthpiece with my Rovner Platinum Gold ligature. I'm playing a Trevor James custom raw tenor sax, and I'm going to basically, I'm going to play The Girl from Ipanema, and I'm going to use all three cuts, and hopefully you're going to be able to hear the difference. I'm going to have you think about that. I'm going to ask you when I'm done. Okay, could you hear the difference between the three cuts? I felt it. Okay, I definitely felt the resistance with the French cut. For me personally, it was a little too dark of a sound. My brain, that whole time, I was fighting the setup to try to get it a little bit brighter. I personally, though, I'm going to experiment with this with a different mouthpiece and perhaps the new Rovner LGX ligature. I like the resistance being a little bit more with this French cut, but I need a little bit more edge in the sound. I normally play blues, vintage R&B, rock, pop, and so I use the American cut because it fits me better for those situations. But here's the thing. If you're playing gigs where you're doing standards for a wedding reception, cocktail hour, or restaurants or whatever, this Reed's a really good choice to give you that darker sound. Super important point. If you use the signature or the American cut, get a quarter size stronger strength for the French cut. So for example, I use the American cut 2.5s. For the French cut, I use 2.75 to pretty closely match the strength of the other Reeds. So a 2.75 French cut is close to a Van Doren Blue Box 2.5 or a Boston Sax Shop 2.5. Check out the description because I have resources and links for the people and companies that I mentioned before. All right, I hope that this review of the Legere French cut helped you. It helped you make an informed decision. Please share this with your saxophone playing friends and music educators. And do me a favor, let me know if you like this. Let me know in the comments, but also let me know if you bought this as a result of watching this video. I'd really appreciate it. All right, on that note, thanks so much for joining me. Take care. Have a great day.